Get ready to sink or swim. This is our review of VETO and VETO Wild Waters. We were given a copy of VETO and VETO Wild Waters so that we could do this review video.
If you'd like to find out more information or buy a copy of the game, check out the links in the description below.
So VETO and VETO Wild Waters are basically the same game. One just has kind of a new art theme over it. It has the underwater ocean theme. So with the game, it's a card shedding game. Each player's got to have 4 ground piles of 4 cards in front of them and 4 cards in their hand. The goal of the game is to get rid of all your cards. You can't play from your ground pile until you get rid of the cards in your hand. When you get rid of the cards in your hand, then you play from, if there's one face up, you can play a face up card onto the cards. Or if not, then you have to draw randomly and play it and see if you're able to play it. The goal of the game is you're going to be going from low to high, 1 to, what was the top number, 17?
17, 16?
I think it was 17. And you're going 1 to 17. And then if you can't play a card, then you have to take all the cards that are in the discard pile. You have to take them all, and that becomes your new hand. However, as you keep playing, if you run out of cards, then you win. The game is very easy to teach because basically it's just you're counting up or counting down depending on which way the action cards that are in the game are going. So it's like, oh, if there's a 2, I can play a 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. And then you have to think about strategy-wise, well, I can play this card, but maybe I want Lee to have to pick up this pile. The pile's getting kind of big, so maybe I'll play a 16 because I doubt that he'll have that 17, or maybe he will, then he'll be able to play the 17 and then someone else can go. However, the thing you have to think about, if I play that 10 and then Lee plays a 10, then I'm gonna have to draw 3 cards. So if I thought I was going down in cards, I'll actually have to pick up some. However, I can play a veto card, which is where the name of the game comes. I can play a veto card to not have to draw those cards after they play the same number. So it's very easy to learn how to play. However, playing it can be tricky because you're thinking about all these things. And it can end up taking a while because you may get down to one last card, then suddenly you have to pick up a whole pile of like 30 cards, and you're back to square one trying to get rid of all those cards. It sounds like it would be a very fast game to play, and it can be depending on the luck of the draw, how people are playing, if people are being more mean to each other and things like that, or the game can end up taking a long time.
As Kenny mentioned, the Wild Waters edition does have artwork on it, so I'm always a big fan of some good artwork where you know, as you're holding it or, staring at other people's hands or the cards, you're just like, oh, that's pretty cute. It's pretty nice. I really did have fun with this game. It's easy to teach, and if I want to stick with the theming, right, like my hands are just like the floating fish, and then now I got to go to the bottom floor and like see what I get, right, and see how that goes. So that's how my mind kind of put it together when I was playing. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. Now playing, building, but then someone has a power card that's like, now you have to play low numbers. And Kenny was right. There is a time when like you get rid of all your cards, you get lucky with flipping over random cards that just happen to make it, and you don't have to pick up that like ever-growing discard pile. However, you could have that one card left and you're like, please be something good. And then you flip over and you're like, pick up those 50 cards. And now you're like, okay, 1, 2. And then, it does give the other players time to kind of get rid of their hands or get rid of these. But yeah, you could be sitting there and it's just, all right, who's got to pick up the next 30 cards? Like, okay, now you got it. All right, now you basically have everything, and you can just keep circling that until finally, like, I don't know, someone got real lucky with their last one. They're like, haha, wild.
There are some cards that let you clear the discard pile so that you take those out. However, if you don't think that you're going to end up having to pick them up, you're not going to play that because you want to leave all those cards there to get to somebody else. And the other thing to think about is after you've played enough turns, all those the discard pile will be out of the game. Then you won't be able to play those anymore, and you're going to have to pick up those cards. So that's when the game can really go. When it gets like down to the end game, you have like 3 or 4 people who are really close. That's when it can start to get a little bit like, okay, how's this game going to end? Eventually the game does end because just like statistically, you're going to get to a point where everything's going to align, it's going to work. It feels like there's no real way to plan your end game based on how the ground piles work. Once you flip over your cards and they're all face up, all your ground pile, your last 4 are all face up, then you can kind of plan a little bit better. However, as long as they're all face down, you're really not close to being out yet unless you get really lucky on that draw on what you were given at the beginning of the game. And just to show you what the VETO looks like, so it's just the red backs instead of the colorful backs. And then the cards are just black cards with numbers and stuff. So that's what we mean by the Wild Waters just has the artwork and the theming to it, whereas the VETO is just regular cards, but the mechanics still work the same. You're still playing with the same rules, trying to get rid of your cards, having the VETO if you have to pick up cards, all those kind of things.
I like the mechanic or the power that you can get where, most of the game you're playing it like, okay, I throw down a 1, so you got to throw down a 2 and then 5. But then there are powers to be like, oh, we wasted all our high cards. Now we got to play low cards. So if you were trying to be all like, ooh, I'll keep all my high cards, but then like someone plays that and you're like, no.
So one thing I really like about this game is the end game once you know who has all the cards. When you know that someone has to pick up those cards, then you know basically what that player has if you were remembering what was being played. So whenever you get around and circling around to it, the player before them are like, all right, I can't play these because they can make me draw 3 and I don't have a veto card, or I know that they're going to be able to play something off of this. So it does become interesting. What did you not like about this game?
So I wouldn't say not like, but something like I felt like hurt me more frequently that I was like, no, but it's the whole veto thing, right? I was like, 7. And then someone's just like 7. And I feel like I didn't have a veto like very often. So it always like 7, you say, draw. And I'm like, ugh, 1, 2, 3. And then happens again, right? Like, okay, no way someone's going to do it on 9, right? It's like, well, okay, fine. I didn't think I had seen any vetoes or
just the luck of the draw.
Yeah, enough to stop it. I mean, did I do that to other people a lot? Well, I don't think so. I think I was too busy just trying to like save my hand and, like get rid of my cards.
I feel like most of the games that we were playing, you were too focused on telling other people what to do. Because that is one thing with this game is you really can only affect the person after you. So with the people, if you're playing with a large group of people, the people over there, if you're like, Lee can be over here, be like, hey, they might have this card. If you have something like this, you should do that because they're going to win. Like, so Lee was like, anytime someone was getting close to being out, Lee would be like, wait. Don't do that yet. Like, so, because he couldn't literally do anything to affect them. He knew like, hey, dude, you're the only one that can stop this guy from winning. Here's what you have to do. Dance. So I feel like every time it came to him, it was just like, oh yeah, I got to do something. Yeah. But I feel like he spent most of the games that we played like telling other people how to drag the game on. Maybe that's why the game's dragged on. Maybe he just kept helping everybody keep it going. The thing I don't like about this game is how the game drags on. I do wish that there was a way as that game was going, when you get to a certain point, that it could go a little bit quicker, because the beginning of the game really does flow smoothly, but towards that end game and people are picking it up and everyone's down to 1 or 2 of their ground piles and things like that, it does kind of drag a little bit.
Overall, I'd play the game again. Like I said, I do like the version that does have like the Wild Waters with the graphics and everything. I did really like the face down cards because that just adds the randomness, right? Like, yeah, if we all just had hands, it's just you go, I go, you go, the powers helped, but then now this one adds a little bit of mystery, right? Where it's like, so that's fun too. And I really like a little bit, that little bit of randomness in there, but plays quick and you can just kind of start your game night with it. And then, yeah, maybe at the end too, if you're like, one more game, let's go.
I had a lot of fun with this game. I would play it again. I don't think that I would buy it if I had just played it, but if someone has the game and they want to play it, I have no problem with it. I definitely would like to play it. Again, just can drag out. If it played a little bit quicker, I'd be like, all right, this is the fun one to play. I don't know if I'd bring it out at the end of the night because who knows? Is it going to be a 20-minute game or is it going to be a 60-minute game? You don't know, depending on luck of the draw and how people are going and how much Lee's coaching everybody to keep the game going. If I was giving a score on Board Game Geek, I'd probably give it a 6. Overall, I would play this game again. And that was our review of VETO.
What'd you think? Are you going to add this game to your collection or is it going to get vetoed? Let us know in the comments below.
Once again, we'd like to thank the publisher for giving us a copy so that we could do this review video. If you'd like to find out more information or buy a copy, check out the links in the description below. And as always, if you're enjoying our content, please like this video, give it a hype, leave a comment below, and of course, subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
I'm Kenny. I go party like a board gamer.